Hello students, this is class 10th, subject English, poem 4, How to Tell Wild Animals. This poem is written by Carolyn Wells and this is my lecture number 1. Topics to be covered today. First of all, we shall read about the poet, then introduction of the poem. After that, explanation of stanzas with their literary devices. So let us begin with about the poet. This poem, How to Tell Wild Animals, is written by Carolyn Wells. She was an American author and poet. She was the daughter of William E. and Anna Wells. She was a writer of poems, mysteries, children's literature, and other humorous pieces. She worked as a librarian for the Raleigh Library Association after completing her education. She wrote more than 170 books. She wrote on children's stories, mystery and detective stories, and humorous writings. Carolyn Wells was an American writer who was famous for books based on mystery. Her famous works are At the Sign of the Sphinx, The Jingle Book, The Story of Betty, etc. She was born on June 18, 1862, Rahway, New Jersey in United States, and she died on March 26, 1942. Now, so this was all about the poet Carolyn Wells. Now let us move to the introduction of this poem, How to Tell Wild Animals. In this poem, the poet has explained the characteristics of various wild animals in a very funny way. She has used language in a way that it generates humor. She is introducing the reader to various kinds of wild animals like Asian lion, Bengal tiger, bear, etc., explaining each of the animals in a very humorous way. So this poem tells us how to identify the wild animals. The poet has tried to differentiate between one animal from the other in a humorous way. It is very risky to work in such a close proximity to these wild animals. So this poem also discusses the various features of wild animal. So this is a humorous poem that today we are going to start. Here in this poem, the poet has told us the characteristics of different wild animals. So let us begin with the explanation of each stanza. So let us start with first stanza. Stanza 1. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. The east means here the eastern countries. Tawny means brownish yellow. Dye means dying. So the poet is telling us how to identify the Asian lion in this stanza. She says, if you happen to pass through some jungles in the east, you can there find a large brownish yellow beast advancing towards you, coming towards you. He will at once pounce upon you, and if he roars at you, if he roars so loudly that you feel as if you are going to die. This simple rule will tell you that it is the Asian lion. If he roars while you are dying, you can at once know that it is an Asian lion. So this is the way to identify the Asian lion. So the poet says that an animal who starts coming towards you in the eastern jungle, whose skin is brownish in color and roars at you very dangerously, and it means that it is an Asian lion. Now let us discuss the literary devices which are used in this stanza 1. First of all, rhyming scheme. In rhyming scheme, we have A, B, C. This is followed, and these are rhyming words like chance, advance, east, beast, dine, line. Here, dine does not rhyme with line. It is actually for this reason that the poet has used dine, means here G is omitted, so that when we pronounce it, it rhymes with line. So it is a poetic use for maintaining a rhyme scheme in the poem. Enjambment, this is the next literary device. It is a continuation of a sentence to the next line without any pause or punctuation mark. For example, and if there, this sentence starts from here and ends with tawny beast without any punctuation mark. Next is allusion. It is a reference to a famous thing, place, species of animals, etc. Here we are reading about Asian lion. We have come to know about Asian lion. Now let us start second stanza. This is, or if sometime when roaming round a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. The simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. So here in this stanza, the poet is telling us how to identify the Bengal tiger. Roaming means wandering. Noble, it means graceful to look at. Greets means meets. Ground means background. And discern means identity or make out. The poet says that while you are roaming in an eastern jungle, you can sometimes meet a graceful looking beast. It will be having black stripes on its yellow body. You should notice if it eats you, and if it does the same, it is certainly the Bengal tiger. That is a very simple rule to identify this beast. So according to the poet, it is very easy to identify the Bengal tiger. She says that an animal that roams in a jungle and has black stripes on a yellow ground, and he jumps on you to eat you the moment he sees you, then it means that it is surely the Bengal tiger. So now let us move to the literary devices which are used in this stanza. Explanation is done. Rhyming scheme is A, B, C. It is followed. Rhyming words are round, ground, you, learn, discern. Then alliteration is used. Repetition of consonant sounds. R at start of two or more closely connected words like roaming, round. In allusion, it means reference to a famous thing, place, species of animal, etc. Here we have come to know about Bengal tiger. Now let us begin third stanza. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain, he will only leap and leap again. Strolling, it means walking leisurely. Hide means animal skin. Peppered means covered with. Leapt means jumped. Do no good, be of no use. Leap and leap, it means leap and leap, means will spring again and again. So the poet is telling us how to identify leopard. So while you are going leisurely through an eastern jungle, a beast can come in your view. It will have a hide covered with spots. It will have skin covered with spots. As soon as it leaps on you, you will know that it is a leopard. It will be no good for you to cry in pain because it will leap again and again at you while you are giving out cries of pain. Means it is useless to cry with pain because leopard will be jumping again and again at you. So this is the way to identify a leopard. Now let us move to the literary devices. First of all, rhyming scheme. It is A, B, A, B, C, C. And rhyming words are view, you, peppered, leopard, pain, again. Alliteration once again. Use of consonant sound. Her in the beginning of two words. He has. Then poetic license. Here in this stanza, the poet has used wrong spelling of leap and leapt. Why? Here we are going to read about poetic license. A liberty, it means a liberty to the poet to change the spellings in order to create rhyme or rhythm in a poem. Use of leapt instead of leapt. Now in fourth stanza, we are going to read about a bear. Means how can we identify a bear? If when you are walking around your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very hard, be sure it is a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess, he will give you just one more caress. So here we are going to read about the characteristics of a bear. Hugs means embraces or puts arms tightly round someone. Then caress, it means a gentle, loving touch. So the poet says, sometimes you could be walking round your yard. There you could meet a creature who would hug you very hard. Then you can be sure that it is a bear. So this is a very simple way to identify a bear. And if you show any hesitation in accepting his hug, he will certainly give you just one more loving touch or loving hug. Means, once again I am explaining, if you are walking in the surrounding area of your courtyard and you meet a creature who embraces you very tightly, it is certain that he is a bear. If you are doubtful about it, he will give you another loving touch. Caress means loving touch. Now, literary devices. Rhyming scheme is same. A, B, C, C. It is followed. Rhyming words are yard, heart, there, bear, guess, caress. Enjambment is used. Continuation of a sentence to the next line without any pause or punctuation mark. Example is given here. Then alliteration is used. Use of ver sound in when, walking. Use of her sound in who, hugs. Then use of ber sound in be and bear. So this was the explanation of this stanza. Now let us move to next stanza. Fifth stanza. Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus the crocodile you always may. Tell from the hyena thus, Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. So here in this stanza, the poet has told us how to distinguish beast of prey. Beast of prey means animals that kill another animals for food. Novice means someone new to a job. Nonplus means confused or puzzled. So the poet says a novice can get confused while distinguishing beast of prey. But it is not difficult to distinguish between a crocodile and a hyena. Means it is very easy to differentiate or to distinguish between a crocodile and a hyena. The crocodile will always come to you with tears in his eyes, while a hyena will come with happy smiles. So this is the way to identify them. So it is very simple according to the poet. It is actually the poet says that it is quite a tough job to differentiate between wild animals and beasts of prey. So the poet tries to help out the reader by telling the difference between two animals. They will be confused. The hyenas will keep smiling, whereas the crocodile will always shed tears. So this is the explanation of this stanza. Now move to literary devices. Literary devices which are used in this stanza are rhyming scheme is A, B, A, B, C, C. This is followed. Pray, may, nonplus, thus, smiles, crocodiles. These are rhyming words. Alliteration, use of consonant sound her. No. In novice and nonplus, use of the sound in the and thus. Enjambment is also used. Continuation of sentence to the next line. Though to distinguish, might, nonplus, the crocodile from the crocodile up to hyena thus. So these are the examples of enjambment where no pause or punctuation mark is used. Stanza 6th is the true chameleon is a small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. So in this stanza, the poet is telling us how to identify a chameleon. And here we have come to know about the features of a chameleon. So let us begin with the explanation. The true chameleon is small, means the true chameleon is a small animal and it is a thing that looks a sort of lizard. It looks like a small lizard. It has no ears at all and it doesn't have even a single wing. Then if you see nothing on the tree, though it is there on it, you can be certain that it is a chameleon. On tree you cannot see it because a chameleon can change its color according to its surrounding. So once again I am explaining. So this is the last stanza of this poem, and in this stanza we are going to read about a chameleon. So lastly the poet talks about the chameleon, a small creature. It looks like a lizard, but the main difference between the two is that chameleon does not have ears and wings, and the chameleon can change its color accordingly. If you see a tree and find nothing on it, there must be a chameleon on it. So this is the explanation of this stanza. Now let us move to literary devices used in this stanza. In literary devices, first of all, rhyming scheme. So rhyme scheme is the same. A, B, A, B, C, C. This pattern is followed. And rhyming words are small, all, thing, wing, tree, sea. And then alliteration, alliteration, use of her sound in example he hasn't. So this is the explanation of this stanza. So in this poem we have read about different wild animals. The poet says in beginning that if by chance you go to any forest in the east and a terrible and a dangerous animal comes to you and starts roaring loudly, and you are in trouble, then you will come to know that it is an Asian lion. Then we read about the Bengal tiger. If a wild animal with black stripes on yellow hide welcomes you, then it is certainly a Bengal tiger. Then after that we have read about leopard, that if you see an animal whose skin is covered with spots and it jumps at you and starts eating you, then it is definitely a leopard. Then if you are just roaming around in your yard and an animal meets and hugs you very tightly, then believe that it is certainly a bear. Then you can differentiate between a crocodile and a hyena. Hyena always smiles, but if tears come from its eyes, then it is a crocodile. Then after that, we have read about a chameleon. A chameleon looks like a lizard. It doesn't have ears or wings. If there is nothing on the tree, then you will find there a chameleon. So in such a way, we have read about these 6 animals. In first stanza we have read about Asian lion, then we read about the Bengal tiger, after that leopard, then bear, then we have discussed about crocodile and hyena, and at last chameleon. So now let us move to your homework. Homework is to find out the answers of these questions. I have given you 5 questions in total. So let us read question number 1. How does the poet suggest that you identify the lion and the tiger? When can you do so according to him? Then question number 2 is, do you think the words leapt and leapt in the third stanza are spelled correctly? Why does the poet spell them like this? Now question number 3. Look at the line, a novice might nonplus. How would you write this correctly, and why is the poet's incorrect line better in the poem? Now question number 4. What features of a bear are described in the poem? Now question number 5. Read the following passage and answer the questions. Though to distinguish beasts of prey a novice might nonplus, the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. So questions are, a novice would get confused to differentiate the dash. Then next, the crocodiles are identified in the forest by their dash. The next is, which word in the extract means the same as in this manner. Then last question is, whose smile is merry? So I think you all have understood the poem, and now you are supposed to find out the answers of given questions and write the answers in practice notebook and send the snapshot to me. Thank you. If you like our videos, please press the like button and subscribe our channel. Thank you.